Good morning, my name is Dr. Jessica Underwood. I am here today to talk to you about your amazing body and to talk to you about the stress response that happens in your body. I talk to people a lot about stress in my profession, about what it is, what it means, what it looks like, what it feels like, all of those sorts of things. And what I would like to talk to you about today is actually that there is a very important purpose for stress. So I went searching the news archives and I looked up stories of superhuman strength and incredible feats of bravery and stories about times where people did things that they wouldn't or couldn't normally do. I found many stories about these superhuman feats and acts of bravery and those sorts of things. One of them was a man named Tim Doyle from Arizona, and he witnessed an accident. A car was driving down the street and ran over a teenager, and Tim raced over to the car. The teenager was pinned underneath, and somehow Tim was able to lift the car for long enough so that the driver of the car was able to pull the teenager from underneath and save his life. Another example was a grandmother from Texas. She was on her ride-on lawnmower mowing her lawn one day when the lawnmower got out of control, and her granddaughter raced over to try and save her and unfortunately became pinned underneath the lawnmower. So pretty scary story. The grandmother was able in some amazing way to get up, push the lawnmower off the granddaughter, and amazingly the granddaughter escaped with only 4 severed toes. This is two stories, and there are millions, and I'm sure you've probably heard them yourself sometime. So what's actually happening when people can do things that are superhuman and incredible and beyond what we can normally do in day-to-day life? Well, medical science, there's not a lot of medical science to support exactly what's happening, and that's likely due to the fact that it's difficult to gather evidence on these sorts of situations because they're one-off events that are very difficult or unethical to reproduce. But the most popular idea and theory about what's happening is that in times where we are able to do things that are beyond our normal limits, it's due to the stress response that's happening in our body. You don't need to be a doctor or a scientist to understand what happens with stress, and most of you could remember a time where you felt scared or frightened or worried, and you noticed things in your body change. Your heart rate get faster, your posture change, your thinking change, and so you could relate to the fact that a scary or stressful event actually makes changes in the physical action of your body. It's a very complex physiological response that happens. But very simply, it's likely to do with the massive release of adrenaline, which causes changes in every part of your body so that you can prepare to run or fight and remove yourself from danger at the time. If you lived a couple of 100 years ago, then this stress response would have been very useful because in the moment that you needed to run or fight, your body would have organised all of the important things it needed to do to support that. The event would have happened, you would have removed yourself from danger, and then you would have had some downtime to relax and your body restore its normal homeostatic mechanisms. In today's world, our fear or our frightening or stressful events are not generally life or death and being chased by a man-eating tiger, but more often our work deadlines, the argument we've had with our partner, the financial burdens that we have, just paying the mortgage every week. These things are still perceived in the body and still create the same response in the body as the real life-threatening stressful events. The problem here is that we are experiencing these a lot and time again, and we're not actually able to have downtime and restore our body's natural processes. So we've established that the stress response is very important and that your body can recover from an acute stress response. We've also established that many times acute stress response actually leads to long-term stress. And what we know in medicine and science today is that long-term stress responses are responsible for many of the major illnesses and problems that we're having in our lives today. So rather than, although it's smart to decrease the amount of stress that you experience, for a lot of people this is actually impossible. We're busy working people, we live in the real world, and we want things that we can do that enable us to cope with life better. So what can you do? Here's something that's really smart. Bodies and the world and people and animals all have internal rhythms that come about in a 24-hour cycle, or there are bigger and smaller cycles than that. But our body works really well when it knows how long it has to do something for and when it can have a break, or how long it'll be until its next meal, or how long it'll be until it can have its next move and stretch and walk around. So to make the most out of doing something good for yourself that helps your body cope with stress more, my best recommendation is to choose something that you enjoy that is fun or relaxing or enjoyable to you, and do it on a regular basis, on a rhythmic basis. That might be that once a day you do something that's really fun or enjoyable. It might be that you choose to do something like Tai Chi or meditation or Qigong, and you might do this 2 times a week, or you might do it once every week on a Saturday. The point is, do something that's regular, that's fun and enjoyable to you, and that your body and your system knows that it's coming and knows when it's going to have downtime, so that you can really make the most of your amazing body, its natural capacities, and really cope with stress better and have a more fun and healthy life.